right, Sports Talker Nation, welcome back once again. It's your host, the G-Man, as we continue our 2015 NFL team-by-team review. Today we're going to talk about those Carolina Panthers. What is there to say about the Panthers that hasn't been said over the time? What an amazing season. And there's so many reasons for it. And they're not a really likable team because Cam Newton's act does wear thin. But if you look at what he was able to accomplish, what that defense was able to accomplish, it was almost historic. And they did it in a different way. Maybe it's just for a new generation. Maybe it's old people, right? Maybe I'm too old to appreciate how they did it. But they took no prisoners. They made sure you knew they were going to come beat you down. And they came and beat you down. Let's talk a little bit about what went right, what went wrong, and what to look for in the future. What went right? Well, almost everything. Cam Newton had one of the best seasons of a quarterback ever. Again, I'm on record as saying I don't love his act. I don't think I think he's a spoil sport. Now, truth be told, I would be a terrible loser myself. I'm a terrible loser in my life, so I get it. But I think when you're an NFL quarterback, you have to act a little differently. That said, his season was historical. No other quarterback can do what he can do, and that's a fact. There have been other quarterbacks, there have been other running quarterbacks, and there have been other quarterbacks who can run. He is both. If he decided one game to run the ball 25 times, he could get 200 yards. If he decided to not run at all and just throw the ball, he can throw for 400 yards. His talent is off the charts. They managed to do it with zero wide receivers. I mean, even their best receiver from a year ago, who was only a rookie, wound up getting hurt. It didn't matter. Cam Newton just put them on his back offensively and carried them to wins, and I mean big wins. I bet against them a lot early in the year. I learned my lesson pretty quickly because they were steamrolling teams. What else went right? Well, defensively. Well, I'm sorry. Before we get to defense, I'll give a shout out to Greg Olsen. I almost did what I was going to accuse everybody else doing. He gets overlooked quite a bit. He is a hell of a player. 1,000 yards. Other teams knew he was going to get the ball, and it didn't matter. Love him as a player. Love what he was able to do. Jonathan Stewart, before he got hurt, although he's always hurt, almost put up his second 1,000-yard season. Didn't quite get there because they benched him with nothing to play for late in the season. But he played well early in the year. But it was really the Cam and Olsen show offensively. Defensively, what a freaking team. When you can go four deep, before you mention a guy like Thomas Davis coming off of 3 knee surgeries, to be one of the fastest and hardest hitting disruptive linebackers in the NFL, that's saying something. And he's not their number one option. Josh Norman came out of nowhere the last couple years to become a shutdown corner. Now, granted, he doesn't play ball hawk man-to-man all the time in one spot, follow the best receiver that other cornerbacks do. But if you watch him play, he has such strong hands and can jump and is fast and knows what he's doing. I think he's smart. He plays within their scheme despite the obvious desire to take risks, right? And it's for notoriety. D-backs all want notoriety. He doesn't do that. He's an incredibly smart player. I hated the little fracas with Odell Beckham. But I don't care what he might have said to him in pregame or what he said to him during the game. I couldn't care less. Odell Beckham lost his head. Norman should have had the right to beat the piss out of him. But I digress. So Norman was fantastic. Luke Kuechly, he's another guy. How do you not love Luke Kuechly? He is a tackling machine. And he can do it running sideline to sideline like Ray Lewis, or he can do it shedding blocks like Ray Lewis. Ray Lewis, to me, is one of the greatest middle linebackers, if not the greatest middle linebacker I've ever personally seen, and Luke Kuechly gives him a run for his money. I think Luke Kuechly is a better version of a young Brian Urlacher, and that's saying a lot because I think Urlacher was pretty phenomenal. Defensive line, a guy who doesn't get any credit, was Kawann Short. Kawann Short disrupted opposing backfields, pass rush up the middle, and really set up Kuechly to make those tackles and Thomas Davis to run free. That defense was insanely good. What didn't go so well? Well, the running game did have some injuries. Defensively, there's nothing. I can say nothing about what didn't go well defensively. Everything went well. I worry about Cam's future if he continues to have to bear the brunt of it. I don't like him running so much. I think he should do it like Russell Wilson, and when he has to run those 8 yards and get out of bounds. I hate that they call his number on these little 6-yard plays. I understand he's a massive guy, but you don't want your quarterback taking those hits. And defenses love to take hits at the quarterback, so I don't love that. Running game is a work in progress. They drafted Artis Cameron Payne. He really didn't do anything, so that's a work in progress. the wide receiver position needs to be completely overhauled. Now, they're drafting late in the draft in a okay, not great wide receiver draft. They should take two. They should take two wide receivers, a running back, and an offensive lineman, and just make those the only positions they take in the draft, because that was a problem. What to look for in the future? It's another team that it's hard to forecast them going down. With that defense and with Cam Newton, you would think that they have a stranglehold on that division, and they're going to be a player in that conference. Ron Rivera did a very good job. I think he bought himself time from the executioner, because I think for a couple of years they've been trying to get rid of him, but I don't think they'll do that now. So I don't think 15-1, but I think more of the same. I mean, I think you can count on 12 wins, and you can count on Cam Newton continuing to be a dynamic, tremendous player in the NFL with that defense lighting people up and actually being fun to watch. For the future, like I said, draft a running back, draft two wide receivers, draft two offensive linemen, and if you have any more draft picks than that, draft a couple more. They need to find someone to help take the pressure off of Cam and off the running backs, so another wide receiver would go a huge way towards doing that. And that's it for your 2015 NFL review of the Carolina Panthers. I'm your host, the G-Man, and I am out.